Welcome back to Revenge of the Fallen Randomness. I'm sorry it took me so long. I had a lot of crap going on, but hey, we're back and we're going to get right into this one. As a lot of you know, I review figures that I like and very seldom review figures that I don't. I said seldom, David. God, pay attention. Or if I don't like it, I usually showcase how a figure has bright spots. But if a figure is bad, and there are several ones that are out there, I do on occasion have my moments of going postal. That was my reaction when I encountered this piece of crap again. 2 years prior to this line kicking off, they made one of my favorite molds, Concept Bumblebee. It has a lot of sentimental value to me because it was my first ever Transformer. A lot of you guys know this. It's got a great transformation with some fun automorph. Now, it might not be the most accurate thing in the world, but it sure came close, and they got a lot of mileage out of it. So much, in fact, that when Revenge of the Fallen kicked off, they only tweaked it a little bit and re-released it. This would be Preview Bumblebee, with the new head, the Z28/ZL1 front end, and the cannon arm that launches a missile. That's great! But then for some reason they decided we needed another Bumblebee that was different than the last one with a new gimmick? What could possibly go wrong? This is Canon Bumblebee, and to be frank, this is probably the worst Bumblebee I've ever owned. Yeah, I said it. I hate this thing. Now looking at you, you're probably thinking, Treebot, what's the big deal with this thing? Just strap in. It'll become pretty clear as we go on. But first, let's be positive. The Camaro mode looks really good. Putting it next to the original version, you'd be hard-pressed to guess which one's which if you didn't know. I even found myself picking the wrong one up while preparing to review it. But no, this is the right one. You can tell by the sparkly window plastic and the little Autobot logo on the side there. And these mysterious spots on the hood. But detailing-wise, it's pretty good. As I said, it's the same concept Camaro from the first movie, but with the Z28 front end, a new hood, and some new wheels. The rear is exactly the same though, and so are the doors, as is the roof. Well, not really. Again, we will get to that later. So why is this thing called Cannon Bumblebee? Don't all Bayverse Bumblebees have cannons? Well, not to this extent. So you know how he has those shoulder cannons that sprout from his back sometimes, exactly one scene from every movie? For some reason, this became the line-wide push for Bumblebee from 2009 to 2010. Specifically, they showed up here and on the Battle Ops one too. I have no idea. This is some Takara masterpiece level of specification considering it rarely shows up. However, there are some cases where it looks cool. However, this is not the case with this figure. Yeah, I mean, they come out. In this mode, it's kind of difficult to get them out, but they barely accomplish anything. They don't launch anything, even though they totally could have at this time when it was made. I mean, this thing is already compromised as it is, so you might as well go to the full 9 yards and give it a launching gimmick. Fuck it. Why not? And on top of that, this means this is an attack mode. Get out. And they're not even accurate to the movie. They're accurate to one Cyber Missions episode, and it's not even revolving around this version of the figure. It's based on that 2-pack between Soundwave and this Bumblebee. What the hell? In terms of other things this figure can do, the doors open up and there's an approximation of an interior. Brownie points there, I guess. And it rolls pretty good. So yeah, this car mode looks good, but that was pretty obvious. It's so close to the other version, so I hope you wouldn't screw that up. Making Bumblebee's Camaro mode is like a bag of chips. There's no way you should screw it up at this point. We've had like 10 versions of this car mode when this thing came out. This thing's gimmick though drags it way down. Instead of making them flip out cannons, they could have put 5mm clips on it and just made the cannons separate pieces. I know they could have done this because they made Recon Ironhide shortly after this thing. And if they had done it that way, it would have been a better gimmick, it would have had accuracy, and the toy would function better. But we will once again get to that in a moment. Alright, that's enough bullshit from this car mode. It looks nice, the gimmick is ass. I don't know how many times I gotta say it. David, I can tell you're getting antsy over there, so we're just going to go ahead and cut to transformation. The transformation is very unimaginative in comparison to the previous version. The automorph on the legs are nice, however, it's trying to lure you into a false sense of security, as if to say, hey, this is familiar, maybe this isn't going to suck. But then you see how the chest works, and the midsection, and everything else, and you deal with one of the most difficult yet lazy transformations ever. And then you finish it and you're like, that's it? That's it? That's literally all you do. The chest doesn't transform, the arms lazily fold out, and the wings and wheels don't do that cool thing they do to replicate how they look in the movie. You know, on the previous version. I'm afraid that this is the first instance of the Bumblebee design getting lazy and just folding out the robot mode wings. I hate when they do that. And then the wheels are just nowhere to be seen. They're generally on his back regardless, but this time, they fold under the chest. This sucks. Besides his chest, the proportions aren't too bad. There's even some really nice molding on his arms. This is also the first time that these arms have appeared on any copy of Bumblebee in this line. The only issue is, they're all yellow. Seriously, all the detail is lost. That's so lame. Plus this oxidized copper greenish blue they chose on some of the robot parts instead of the gray or the black that they used on the previous ones. What's the intention here? This color is awful. The back kibble is definitely not the worst. It's just very underdeveloped due to the gimmick. The one aspect about this figure that I think has no flaws, however, is the head sculpt. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit soft, but it's still very, very good. I think it's the most accurate Bumblebee that we had gotten up to that point. The only issue is they'd already used it on a vastly superior mold. So what's the point?
Dang it.
And it doesn't help that this head sculpt just highlights how terrible this mold is in general. Also, something else that sucks on this thing are these damn clips on the underside of his chest. No matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you try to slip them in, they always come undone. It's just a coming undone fest. Pause. Also, why does he have thumbs? He doesn't have anything to hold, and he can't hold anything anyway. So don't even bother. I guess we should go into features, which means we're coming down to the whole reason this stupid thing is so compromised. That would be the cannons again. You just fold them out like you did in the car mode, and yeah, this sucks. This was not worth it at all. Like I said earlier, if they wanted to do this, they should have had a 3mm clip system on it and just used the previous mold. It would have saved so much time. And before you say, oh, they've already used it twice, then don't use it at all. Don't make another Bumblebee. There doesn't need to be another one if there's already two. And this kind of reminds me why Bumblebee was so oversaturated in my early years of collecting. He was just getting remolds like this all the time that were basically filler for the next wave, and it sucks. They almost always sucked. And if they didn't suck, they were at least a really ugly repaint.
You ain't got no alibi. You're ugly. You're ugly.
No, this gimmick wasn't worth it. It's the reason the body looks mistransformed, it's the reason the back is a mess, and now the neck is restricted. Fucking ridiculous. And you can't really do anything with his arms either to kind of improve it, you know, to put him in a little action pose because he's got the gorilla arms. At least with Long Haul, it was funny. And I also noticed that any time in any line when they bombard Bumblebee with a half-assed gimmick, he gets gorilla arms. I know, it's crazy. But hey, at least he makes a convincing forklift. But no, there's really nothing I can say that can redeem this robot mode for me. It's just so annoying. I mean, shoot, this thing's so bad it makes me want to merge without looking anytime I think about it. Oh, right. Okay, this thing's articulation is not great either. I mean, the head's on a ball joint, but good luck trying to use it without being hindered by anything. I mean, you put the cannons back in, it could be a little bit useful, you know. It's movable that way, but I mean, it's hard to not flip open that stupid panel that it's on. I really hate that. The arms are on ball joints, that's nice. They go outwards, they go front, they go all the way around. The elbows are gorilla arms. You have to turn them this way to use them. They're on a mushroom peg. I mean, they're nice and tight, but I mean, shoot, they're not going to do anything. And then you got a thumb. That's all you get out of the hands. And then you've got no waist joints. You've got no like swivel thing, you know, like the original had, like this little number. Yeah, you don't get that anymore. You get ball jointed thighs, and then you go down like that on a hinge, and then you got his knees. And then you can do that with the feet, and that's literally all you get. Yeah, that's it. That's it. This thing's articulation is pretty poor. Don't like it. Overall, I think this is probably one of, if not the worst Bumblebee figure they have ever made. This design leading up to Dark of the Moon seemed like it takes 3 steps forward and 1 step back every single time they released another. It does the exact thing that TJ Omega has been talking about for years. They should never, ever sacrifice a toy for a gimmick, and here they did it in spades. It's so obvious here. I mean, shoot, this thing's so bad it should make a supergroup with Armada Sideswipe and Thrilling 30 Nightbeat and sing songs together.
I am a man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my day. I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised, the place where he was born and raised.
But yeah, this one I can't even recommend for the novel factor. It's just not a good time as a figure. I'd avoid it at all costs. Unfortunately, I have one more video planned for Revenge of the Fallen randomness this year, but I still think you're going to enjoy it. We're going to take a look at a figure that will make you wonder why he's so good when 1, his robot mode is concept art, and 2, his vehicle mode is one of the worst licensed cars ever made. But you'll have to wait next time for more Revenge of the Fallen randomness. Treebot out.